morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching JanataTelevision and this is the English Bulletin with me, Anustha Acharya. The top stories first. Prime Minister Deoba stresses on utility corridor for coordinated development, says government preparing consolidated urban development. Election Commission assures local polls in stipulated date, mechanism formed to curb misinformation and hate speech. Dr. Chiranjeevi Nepal urges government to respect central bank's autonomy. The former NRP government turns accusation against incumbent governor baseless. Ukraine captures pro-Russian oligarch Medvedchuk. Zelensky offers prisoner swap with Russia. And holders Chelsea knocked out of Champions League. Real Madrid through unaggregated win. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deoba has underscored the need of formulating a bill on urban development along with utility corridor to carry out the development and construction works in a coordinated manner. A report.
Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deoba has called for an end to the tendency of one utility agency constructing structures and the next one dismantling it after few days due to lack of coordination. The Prime Minister made such remarks while inaugurating a consultative seminar on the formulation of National Urban Policy, the Urban Development Act and the Utility Corridor Act in the capital yesterday. The similar was organized by the Ministry of Urban Development. During the seminar, Prime Minister Deoba said pilot projects would be initiated in some big cities from the upcoming fiscal year for the implementation of the concept of utility corridor. The Prime Minister viewed that it is necessary to maintain population balance through the Tarai Madhes focused consolidated urban development program. Prime Minister Deoba said that the duplicity in the development and construction works would be removed by amending the integrating the legislations related to urban development. According to him, the government will address the problems and challenges seen in urbanization while increasing the access to advanced national urban infrastructures through the urban policy. Stating that Nepal is among the rapidly urbanizing countries in the world, he said urbanization played a role in the overall development of the country, including its economic, social and political development. Prime Minister Deoba stated that although Nepal has been making effort for a systematic urbanization since the second five-year plan, the cities in the country have not developed as expected. He stressed on the need of developing systematic, clean and beautiful new cities and at the same time managing the required infrastructures in the existing old cities. He added that the Ministry of Urban Development has prepared the draft policy incorporating various dimensions of urban development, including major challenges, investments in infrastructures, urban governance, among other issues. The Prime Minister explained that the draft policy emphasized on the coordinated plan, formulation and implementation by the three tiers of the government through innovation in development of advanced, balanced urban system and investment.
Chief Election Commissioner Dinesh Kumar Thapalia has asserted that the May 13 local election would be conducted in the stipulated date. Speaking at a provincial level media orientation program jointly organized by the Election Commission, Press Council Nepal and the Federation of Nepalese Journalists in Biratnagar on Tuesday, the Chief Election Commissioner assured that the upcoming election would be held in a clean, fair, credible and fearless environment. Stating that major function of the periodic election was to strengthen federalism and democracy, Thapalia argued that democracy will be at stake if there is no election. Furthermore, he reaffirmed that Commission's commitment to devise monitoring mechanism to curb misinformation, propaganda and hate speech among others, which he added would defeat politics of integrity. President Vidyadevi Bhandari has granted permission to mobilize the Nepalese army in the May 13 local election. The President approved army mobilization as per the Article 66(2) of the Constitution of Nepal upon the recommendation of the Council of Ministers. Spokesperson for the office of President Acharya confirmed the decision taken by the president. A cabinet meeting on April 7 had decided to recommend the head of the state to mobilize the army for the local poll. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. The government yesterday confirmed 23 new cases of coronavirus across the country. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, the number of active cases of COVID-19 has dropped to 592 after 48 people recovered from the disease. So far, a total of 978,616 people have tested positive for the virus in Nepal, while 965,847 people have already recovered. No new death from the virus was reported yesterday. The death toll from the virus remains constant at 11,951. Nepal is currently among top 61 countries affected by the coronavirus. USA tops the list with 82.13 million cases, followed by India with 43.03 confirmed cases. The virus has infected more than 500.83 million people worldwide and has claimed over 6.20 million lives. CPI-UML chairman KP Sharma Oli has accused the ruling coalition of colluding to defer the upcoming local election. Oli claimed that the ruling parties are attempting to postpone the election on the pretext of threats from the CPN Maoists led by Netra Bikram Chand. He also warned Prime Minister Sheikh Bahadur Deuba not to repeat the same mistake he did 19 years ago by deferring the election. Oli was of the view that deferring the election was not in the best interest of the country. He further said that the government suspended Nepal Rashtra Bank's governor Mahaprasad Adhikari after a failed attempt to embezzle the rupees 400 million. He said that it was not possible for Finance Minister Janardhan Sharma to embezzle the money due to the interference of Governor Adhikari, and therefore he was removed from the post. On the different note, Oli said that his party would continue to press for the country's development and prosperity. Speaking at a program in Lalitpur yesterday, the former Prime Minister claimed that a lot of development activities were accomplished under the UML government. The septuagenarian leader said that the host of programs and policies introduced by the UML leadership included social security allowance for elderly citizens, the replacement of twins by suspension bridges, and the expansion of roads all over the country, among others. Rashtriya Prajatantra Party, led by Kamal Thapa, has given up its agenda of reviving monarchy after 15 years. Party President Thapa informed that the pro-monarchy party will now shift its focus towards directly elected Prime Minister and full proportional representation system. Thapa said that although the political parties struggled for change, there has not been any noticeable change in the lives of the common people. Thus, according to Thapa, this weakened democracy. And now the news from economic front. Former Governor of Nepal Rashtra Bank Dr. Chiranjeevi Nepal has said that the accusation against the central bank's governor Mahaprasad Adhikari can't be proven. Speaking at a program organized in the capital yesterday, Dr. Nepal said that the allegations made by the government against the incumbent governor are baseless. He added that Nepal Rashtra Bank is an autonomous body in accordance to the Nepal Rashtra Bank Act 2058 and hence the autonomy should be respected. He also said that fiscal autonomy of the central bank helps in maintaining fiscal stability.
केन्द्रीय बैंकको आफ्नो कानुन छ त्यसले आफूले वित्तीय स्वायत्तता दियो भने केन्द्रीय बैंकले चाहिँ राम्रोसँग मौद्रिक स्थायित्व गर्न सक्छ त्यसले गर्दा केन्द्रीय बैंकलाई स्वायत्त संस्था वित्तीय स्वायत्तता दिने भए हुनाले स्वायत्त संस्था भनेको जसले गर्दाखेरि दिगो वित्तीय स्थायित्वको लागि केन्द्रीय बैंकको स्वायत्तता आवश्यक छ भन्ने चाहिँ नि मान्यता हो स्थापित मान्यता हो त्यो मान्यता संसारमा सबै ठाउँमा छ.
He further added that the Prime Minister and ministers spent the budget irrationally in order to fulfill the commitment and promises made to the public during the election, whereas the central bank attempts to tighten necessary spending. Therefore, it is natural for the government to have differing views with the central bank.
राजनीतिक उद्देश्यको बेलामा चुनाव लड्दा चुनाव हुँदाखेरि कति कमिटमेन्टहरू जनताप्रति गरेको हुन्छ त्यसलाई बजेट मार्फत लिएर आएर सञ्चालन गर्ने बजेट मार्फत चाहिँ ती उद्देश्यहरू पुरा गर्ने जुन मेनिफेस्टोमा आएका उद्देश्यहरूलाई सरकारमा गइसकेपछि पुरा गर्ने जुन सर्ट टर्मको लागि छोटो समयको लागि र भोटर्सलाई खुसी पार्नको लागि लिएर आइन्छ।
The former governor Nepal said that the excessive flow of credit is a result of the continuous support to the industrialists in order to overcome the economic crisis during the COVID-19 pandemic. He also informed that there is liquidity crisis in the market because the central bank has not been able to control the credit flow. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back. Now the international news. Ukrainian authorities say they captured a prominent pre-Kremlin tycoon who escaped from house arrest after Russia's invasion. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky posted a photo online of the disheveled-looking Viktor Medvedev, which has hands in cuffs and dressed in a Ukrainian army uniform. Zelensky has offered to exchange pro-Kremlin oligarch Viktor for Ukrainians held by Russia. I offer the Russian Federation to exchange this sky of yours for our boys and our girls who are now in Russian captivity, Zelensky said in a daily nighttime address. On Tuesday, Ukrainian authorities said they captured Medvedchuk, a prominent pro-Kremlin tycoon who escaped from house arrest after Russia's invasion. Zelensky warned and let Medvedchuk be an example for you. Even the former oligarchs did not escape, not to mention much more ordinary criminals from the Russian boondocks. We will get everyone, as reported by Al Jazeera. Sri Lanka will temporarily suspend foreign debts payment to avoid a hard default, the governor of its central bank has said, pointing to the country's limited foreign reserves that is need to keep for imports of essentials such as fuel. It has come to a point that making debt payments are challenging and impossible, Governor Nathalal told reporters on Tuesday. Sri Lanka is due to start talks with the International Monetary Fund on a loan program next week. The island national's foreign reserve stood at a paltry $1.39 billion at the end of March, with foreign debts payment of about $4 billion due this year, including a $1 billion international sovereign bond maturity in July. This will be on a temporary basis until we came into an agreement, said Varsingh, who took office last week amid growing public unrest triggered by the economic crisis. JP Morgan analysts estimate Sri Lanka's gross debt servicing would amount to Rs. $7 billion in 2022 and a current account deficit of approximately $3 billion. Rajapaksa's administration is also seeking aid from nations including India and China, which is one of the biggest creditors as reported by news agencies. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Chelsea reign as European champions came to an agonizing end despite beating Real Madrid on a night of high dream at the Bernabeu Stadium. In a Champions League epic, Mason Mount's wonderful finish and Antonio Rudiger's powerful header whipped out Real's 3-1 first leg advantage and brought the quarter-final tie level in Spain's capital. Thomas Tuchel's side were outstanding throughout, and Timo Werner's clever finish from an angle put them ahead for the first time on aggregate and within straight of a place in the semi-finals. But substitute Rodrigo, after a stunning pass by Luka Modric, forced extra time with a volleyed finish before Karim Benzema, a hat-trick hero in the first leg at Stamford Bridge 6 days earlier, headed the decisive goal in the 96th minute to send Real through 5-4 on aggregate. Benzema, who had earlier headed against the bar on the roller coaster night, was unmarked when he scored to break Chelsea's hurt after Rudiger slipped inside the box. Even after what turned out to be the clincher, Hakim Ziyech, Kai Havertz and Jorginho went close to forcing a penalty shootout. In the end, Chelsea, who played superbly, were made to pay for the first leg performance as Tuchel's side fell just short of producing one of the great comebacks in the competition. Nepal finished the AFC Futsal Asian Cup qualifiers without any victory after losing their third and final match against Afghanistan by a wide margin of 8-1. With the third straight loss, Nepal finished at the bottom of the group. Nepal had lost their first match against Uzbekistan 5-1 while they lost the second match 11-1 against Tajikistan. During the final match, Nepal's Sumit Shrestha scored a consolation goal against Afghanistan at the Gazprom Sports Complex. Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan, although Nepal went into the break with Afghanistan leading 2-0. They conceded 6 goals in the second half for the heavy defeat. Despite the win, Afghanistan did not qualify for the Asian Cup. Although Afghanistan have equal 4 points at that of Tajikistan, they did not qualify due to inferior goal difference. Tajikistan, along with Uzbekistan, qualified for the Asian Cup from Group B. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin and the headlines once again. Prime Minister Gilbert stresses on utility corridor for coordinated development, says government preparing consolidated urban development. Election Commission has used local polls in stipulated date mechanism formed to curb misinformation and hate speech. Dr. Chiranjeevi Nepal urges government to respect central bank's autonomy. The former NRP governor prompts accusation against incumbent governor Teslis. Ukraine captures pro-Russian oligarch. Zelensky offers prisoner swap with Russia. And holders Chelsea knocked out of Champions League, Real Madrid for an aggregate win. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.